and then catch my breath again. Tomb Raider, Chronicles, Race to the End, Gallows Tree last week. This week it was the Labyrinth. Gallows Tree. I've just been editing that for so long. I'm in Gallows Tree. Oh.
We were in there a long time. That's why.
Yeah. I wasn't in the Labyrinth as long. I'll tell you that straight up. I was quicker.
No, same here. Yeah, I was quite pleased. I think by the name, I was apprehensive and thinking we're definitely going to get lost. But yeah, so started in the chapel.
Yeah.
I thought in terms of level design, very small room, but that meant they could pack in a load of detail, and I thought it was really good how there was lots of like furniture around and
really
detailing.
Placed furniture.
Yeah. Detail though in the pews and the roof and windows, and you could see through some windows to the sky. Thought it was very aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. So the first thing to do is the push button puzzle.
Yes. Which I don't know what I did right or wrong to make it work. I guess it was they were all on a quick release. You had to press them all, and then it was open, or you had to maybe do them in a certain order. I don't even know.
Oh, you really don't know.
No, I really don't know.
They're definitely. I think. Well, I say this confidently, but you definitely have to push in all three for it to work, and then they kind of popped out. So I don't think you could work out the order in terms of if you pushed the wrong one first, it didn't pop out straight away. That would have been quite cool, because then you could eliminate and work down to, I know this is the first one. But at the end of the day, there's only 6 combinations that you can do. But I didn't fall in the trap of the first one I tried, where it made a slight noise. I didn't trust it, so I did carry on testing combinations until I think it even did a cutscene when you got it right.
I wonder if there's any logic behind those buttons, because they each had pictures of a head, like a pattern in a circle, and then like a dot.
And then twins or something, was it? Like the last one? I don't know. Sure. I did actually, I must admit, I did have a quick flick through Stella's guide just to see if we did miss, well, I didn't know if you'd missed it, but to see if I'd missed a reason for it. And it just says the order. So right. I feel like this is a trial and error one.
So it's not like, what was the one where it's like the food pyramid sort of thing? Remember that one?
I don't remember. Food pyramid.
Yeah, it was like
like
sort of thing. And you had to only pull the ones where it made sense.
Yeah, that does ring a bell. I don't have the knowledge. Let's find that out. Comments.
Yeah. And then you went off into a side chapel.
Interesting, you pick up 2 bone dust.
Yeah.
But you use them both at the same time, which was maybe they intended
them skeletons.
Yeah, I did, but then I just got chopped up and.
Yeah, I don't think I figured out how to get past them without getting hurt.
Oh, you can just walk around a certain route, and they won't hit you. But they're quite brutal. Like I died about 3 times because it takes about half your health.
It made me jump because nothing was there, and then it was there, and I was like, oh. Like that was like a heart in the throat moment.
Back to the other room and use the bone dust in the chalice thing, which opens the door at the back of the room to the puzzle.
Yeah, the multi-layered merri-go-round.
Yeah, so how did you approach it?
Well, first of all, I jumped and landed in a bright green pool. Then we see a cutscene of this ghostly sort of Grim Reaper almost like character, sort of skeleton, and you could tell that they were travelling to the top bit, and they had gone straight over. And I thought there would be some sort of puzzle to remove some obstacles or like get some blocks in the way, so you could also travel over that point. So first thing I did, all the way up the stairs, try and go forward in that room, spike death. And then I do that again, all the way up the stairs, try and do a jump, and then I figure out this probably isn't the right thing to do.
I think I approached it slightly differently, but I think that it wasn't through choice. So I didn't see a cutscene. I ran into the room with the bats at the very top, fell through the hole, and then just landed on a staircase and ran all the way down the stairs into the spike room one. So I didn't actually see any cutscene at all. I went into every room on the way down and I couldn't get across. So that I was left with only one option. But it confused me because I then had no context.
Well, yeah, I would be confused as well. I knew that end result I want to be going across at the very top level. So my second kind of thing I was trying to do was go in at the bottom floor, manipulate something. And I figured out you had these sort of pathways that turn. And then I went onto the next sort of floor and then did another manipulation. And then I would see if it worked at the top. And it didn't take me too long, but I do think I fluked it.
Definitely. I mean, I literally just went in and pulled the lever on each level is what it felt like. When you're kind of jumping up the levels, it's just what felt naturally Tomb Raider-y. And again, this is something that I wanted to know why, so I looked again at Stella.
Do you know what I would be interested to see if I were to revisit this level? I want to see if it holds any more sort of secrets, if there's any sort of
Definitely.
secret routes or anything like this. And it reminded me, I thought it was reminiscent of that film 13 Ghost, where it's sort of
Love that film.
and there's like a moving maze. Yeah, it's a cool film.
I love that film. It's a very kind of cheesy horror, but kind of scary at the same time.
Some bits
But a
are
good
done
concept.
very well, other bits not so much, but like concept.
Good concept.
Yeah.
No spoilers for result, but there's definitely paths off that I'd spotted as well.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they were dead ends or more, I don't know. So eventually, work your way up, get the book, and jump over and enter the maze. So the werewolf comes out at first.
Yeah, well, the werewolf comes out when you're like vulnerable, when you're like stood over a pit. I think it was a werewolf. It just made me jump, like physically, and then I fell down and died. I died a couple of times, and then I was like, right, that's it. I'm just going to do this bit really quickly, and I followed those orbs all the way up to the top, and that was it. I think
the first time when the werewolf first comes out, knocked me, fell down the pit. I think I tried to jump it actually, but too quickly and fell down.
It was a werewolf,
then,
was it? Because I
I'm just
the
calling it
jump
that.
scare got me so much I wasn't even sure what it was.
I mean, island werewolf. Yeah, why not? I mean, they have lions in Greece, so the orbs went quite slowly, so I had to actually wait for them at points. Did you find that?
No, I sort of willed them on. Like, as if they were like here and I was just behind, I would come up to them, and then if they weren't going quick enough, I'd go up to a point until it's like, which way is it, and then they would carry on.
That's my mistake then. Didn't will them on enough, did I?
Yeah. I was taking the lead. I was showing initiative. I thought they were very similar to the I think they were called wraiths that attack you in Tomb Raider 4.
I thought that as well, and it scared me.
So, like, I quickly thought that they must be the opposite and trusted them without any context of what these flying orbs were. it made me think of Lara in Tomb Raider 4, where she just, catastrophically sets the events to the end of the world in motion. It just made me think of that. Like, you've been told to stay put, Lara, and you're going causing trouble.
Yeah.
You don't have a clue what you're messing with here. But whatever, I'm going with it.
I worried about them, but I did charge straight into the middle of them to test my theory. And yeah, that was pretty much the end of the level. I guess the way they do Chronicles with no end level screen, you have to take the whole location as a whole level pretty much. But it didn't feel like the end of a level. But I suppose if you play it all three together, it will just stitch them up.
We will do the results and find out who has won this level at the end, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we're going to do a Tomb Raider related shout out, and this week we're going to do one of my favourite Tomb Raider YouTubers, Steve War. He has done 5 retrospectives now, all on the classic series, and I really liked his views on things and just the creativity and how he uses like Tomb Raider assets and the sort of comedic skits he kind of manages to do and act out with Winston from the series, but like in his house. Like, how does he do that? Like, it's quite comical, and I quite enjoyed that. So I passed him on to you, and you've watched him more recently, so I'm really intrigued to find out what you thought.
I basically binged it, so I think I watched up to the end of 4 in pretty much probably a day. I've left 5 because I didn't want any spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. It's a retrospective review basically, so it does go through the story. So yeah, I didn't want to step on any toes of any races in the future, but I will definitely be checking that out in a few weeks when we finish. I think it's great. It's great video, as you say, like from the video editing's point of view, fantastic. And content wise, I think he nails some points. Like, the main thing that I was just like yes to was the save system from Tomb Raider 1.
Oh god, the save system.
His mini rant on that definitely can relate to.
I think in each game he picks out like little annoying things that have got under his skin, and I've had the same sort of teething problems as him. So like, to hear somebody else expressing like their frustration at it, and usually in like a light comical way like he does, I really enjoyed that.
Apparently, Macho Broccoli gives 0 fucks on employee health and safety because his hideout is an absolute death trap.
Hearing someone else's opinion, it makes you contemplate things in a different way as well. Like, there's some things I didn't agree with, but that's natural. So, the bag backstory, kind of the story that no one asked for. Well, I was like, oh, that's quite a cool little throwback kind of Easter egg that they've added in, but that's that, I think that's positive, and it's discussion points, isn't it, as long as everyone respects each other's opinions. One thing he didn't mention, actually, which would be additional, is the jump pull down lever at the beginning of KV5 level. I remember when we were playing it, you saw it and kind of guessed that was a possibility, but there was absolutely no clue to how to pull that lever, and it's just a brand new mechanic that they hadn't mentioned before.
Well, there's no Croft Manor in this one, so there's no tutorial sort of in there where that could have been included, and I think
but they kind of did, though. They had Cambodia, the unskippable level, but they didn't put that mechanic in.
Yeah, you're right.
So you have to replay it, learning how to jump forwards. But any new mechanic, no, we're not going to show you that. I even learned stuff as well. So the kind of chess backgammon game against the big face, we, like probably many people, fluked that. But apparently the rules of it is in your inventory. We just hadn't fluked. Steve also went through that exact experience as us, so we had the same feelings at that point. Definitely worth a watch. So last week we did our favourite game. So this week we said that we'd talk about our favourite level. It's very difficult to pick your favourite level. So there almost has to be some honourable mentions. And for me, I think Great Wall, as I mentioned last week, Tomb Raider 2 was the first game that I played, so it always has a special place. The Great Wall is a well-designed level, good-looking as well. If I had to go back and play levels again, that is one that I could do without feeling frustration. And I also think the train on the way to, is it Alexandria from Tomb Raider 4?
Yeah, I'm going to add that as one of my honourable mentions because I haven't prepared any. But yeah, that one.
Just a great new mechanic, and again, throwback to Steve War. He said that he thinks that should have made a reappearance. It was a shame that it only appeared once.
It was the closest that the series up until that point had been to being a action movie.
And my last brief shout out is Southern Mexico. I think that's a well put together level from Tomb Raider Underworld, and the puzzle room is pretty much like a St. Francis Folly type side rooms with miniature puzzles. Come back to the hub room, which I really like. So that nearly actually pinched it, but St. Francis Folly. But from the new version of the game is probably my favourite level. So from Tomb Raider Anniversary. Why that one? I prefer the controls of those games personally. It just matches kind of modern gaming a bit more. Obviously, still love classic Tomb Raider, but replayability and things for me, I like that one. I think they've improved on the original puzzle rooms, because although the first one in concept is incredible, some of the rooms are a little bit naff. The kind of lightning puzzle, very difficult to just work out. The swords falling from the ceiling. I mean,
I thought that had its own atmosphere to it. I liked that.
Atmosphere, yeah, but puzzle-wise, not as intricate, I'd say. I just think they took obviously an incredible level, and just by modernising the puzzles and making the puzzle rooms a bit more engaging, improved on it.
It's definitely one of the most iconic ones. I don't believe that it works as well in the anniversary one though, because for St. Francis Folly, it's all about that set piece. It's about that stack in the middle, that Jenga sort of stack. And I get why it was designed like that, because they had sort of these blocks and towers that they could use in the original. But then doing a remake, you're like in this Colosseum, and then you come and you find this crazy structure that just doesn't make sense. Like it seemed more jarring to me in the remake than it did in the original.
Well, it doesn't make sense. They've got Thor in a Greek mythology room either. Tomb Raider logic.
I loved Southern Mexico for the beauty, and another beautiful one I thought was Ghana.
From Legend.
Yeah, but level-wise, I'm going to go for Atlantis. It has, I think, the start of those sort of breathing walls that sort of fleshy. It has those incubator pods, always make me jump, and like they just add suspense because they're there, some of them, and they don't go. And you're just waiting for them to explode, and the harder sort of enemy. It just felt like an epic level, and it came at that epic point in the game as well. And I felt up to the challenge at that point. So it's structured around this one tall square sort of column.
We're talking Tomb Raider 1, it's going to be square.
Yeah, very square. It's cuboid. And you can't even see up to the top, but you just sort of feel your progress. And it feels like an ultimate. It feels like the last level, you're going higher and higher and higher. And each time you're doing like a little easy enough jump from one corner to another corner, made more difficult by flying Atlantean beasts coming at you. you're seeing like each time how much further and further it is down.
You're not just seeing it; you're experiencing it every time you fall.
Yeah, and I did fall a few times when she has to do a few, and then catch my breath and go,
The only complaint I would have about that level is some of the rooms are so trial and error in terms of deaths, almost to the unfair deaths level, which would be fine if it was Tomb Raider 2 saving. But again, Steve of War, Tomb Raider 1 saved crystals. So next week, I thought might be fun to talk about if we were to set a level or a series of levels in a certain location, what would be our dream location?
ooh, raiding the globe, whereabouts we're going to go.
Exactly.
Okay.
And any ideas of things that would happen in that level to back that up would be great to hear. Yeah, let's do it.
My cogs in my brain are turning already. Cool.
So last thing then that we really need to talk about.
Yeah, we need to find out who won. 3-3 at the minute.
The 3-3. The puzzle room, I absolutely did not know what was going on, but I got to the top fairly quickly, but I didn't get any secrets. So I was wondering, did you find any secrets in this level?
In this level, I found no secrets.
So it's all down to time. Who's gonna reveal?
Okay, I did it in 0 hours.
Correct. Me too. Correct. Sorry, I meant me too.
Have you seen my time? Have you? 30.
I did 30.
6.
0.
30 minutes. Another close one.
I quite liked that level in general, actually, in terms of, although I got worried by that puzzle and not knowing what to do, it was still kind of logical in layout and progression, and not linear, but also kind of.
Yeah, I can appreciate how you would like the structure of that level. For me, the best thing about the level was
the new enemy types and how they scared me.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So we're off to the old mill next week then.
The old mill. Is this a pub?
Yeah, I'll see you down the old mill. Yeah, we'll wait for it to blow over.